Rabbi Yitzchak Abendana, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. He lived between 1649. I want to speak about him today for a few minutes because it happened just after Rosh Hashanah of Rabbi Yaakov Abendana, who was another famous rabbi who we'll speak about in a few minutes. Gimel Tishrei is, I believe, his brother's Hilula. So I thought I would speak about Rabbi Isaac Abendana because we already spoke about Rabbi Yaakov in a previous class. He was a Spanish-born Jewish scholar, a translator, a religious leader. Let's say he was a pioneering figure in Hebrew studies at various English universities, I think during the Restoration period. He actually was born, reported, from a Marrano family that had been forced to convert from Judaism to Christianity during the Spanish Inquisition. He was a younger brother, naturally, of Rabbi Jacob or Rabbi Yaakov Abendana, and a grandson of David Abendana, one of the founders of Amsterdam's first synagogue. He would become a Chacham of the Spanish-Portuguese synagogue in London after his brother died. So it's a key rabbi over here. I believe he passed away on July the 17th, 1699. So very interesting. Lot we could say about him. He was born in Spain, I think in 1640. Obviously, younger brother of Rabbi Yaakov Abendana. We're going to speak about Rabbi Yaakov in a few minutes. Rabbi Yaakov passed away in 1685, I believe. He lived here. I think he arrived in England in 1662 before his brother. Let's say he made him one of the first practicing Jewish people to teach at English universities since medieval expulsion of 1290. In 1663, Rabbi Isaac taught Hebrew at both Cambridge and Oxford universities. He apparently received an annual retaining fee of £6 from Trinity College, Cambridge. During 1664 to 1666, his most significantly scholarly achievement was producing the first complete Latin translation of the Mishnah. In 1671, a 6-volume manuscript, a work commissioned by Cambridge University that remained unpublished, but was later used by a Christian scholar, someone named Gulilemos Surenhusios, for his own Latin edition. While he was at Cambridge, Rabbi Abendana sold Hebrew books to the Bodleian Library of Oxford. He relocate to Oxford in 1689. He would teach Hebrew at the Magdayan College, respectively. Now, following his brother, Rabbi Yaakov, passed away, I believe. Now, differing opinions. Maybe he passed away in 1695, Rabbi Yaakov did. Somewhere else did say, yes, seemingly it was 1695, sorry, when Rabbi Yaakov passed away, not 1685. Maybe I made an initial mistake over there. I'll just have to clarify. Apparently, maybe it was 1695 he passed away. He would have been then 60 years of age. Rabbi Isaac would serve as a Chacham of London Spanish-Portuguese synagogue, let's say chief rabbi of the UK, until he passed away in July the 17th, 1699. I think at Oxford, Rabbi Isaac compiled annual Jewish calendars, almanacs for Christian readers from 1692 to 1699. He later published, I think, as discourses on ecclesiastical and civil polity of the Jews in 1706, one of the first comprehensive explanations of Judaism written in English. He maintained extensive correspondence with leading Christian scholars, including the philosopher Ralph Cudworth, the master of Christ's College, Cambridge, and he contributed significantly to Jewish-Christian intellectual dialogue during the formative period in Anglo-Jewish history. So we're going really into British history over here. And let's explore a bit more within regards to him, a few more tidbits that we should point out. Rabbi Isaac, or Rabbi Yitzchak, you could say his name. I think he was also a physician and was great in rabbinic literature. I think the family itself were bankers, is reported over. They had bankers inside the family, and very much he was close with his brother all throughout their lives, respectively, all throughout. And we'll talk about his brother in the coming minutes. And it's I'll just state what it actually says over here in Hebrew. It says he lamad refuah University Lidan. I believe he would. Let's just get this correctly. I think in Leiden University. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He was very, very academic. He was in the Cambridge University all throughout various different points of time, and really would make his mark and be chief rabbi over there, respectively. So I think let's explore a bit. I think he would write works. I'm trying to find out the works that he would do, but the actual names itself, because it was really a lot of the scholarship works could possibly found in even maybe in Cambridge nowadays, or in various different libraries also. It was, okay, so I think it was called, the notable work, the Discourses on legistical and civil polity of the Jews. In 1706, that was pointed, that would have been after he passed away. And Latin translation of the Mishnah, I think in 1671, I'm not sure if it was published or not per se, that specific book in of itself. So that's very interesting. So Rabbi Yitzchak Abendana passed away in 1699, lived about 59 years of age, very famous rabbi. He was related to Jacob, obviously also to David Abendana, who was his grandfather. Hopefully we'll get to speak more about him at later stages. I think it's actually interesting. There's a whole section in the Jewish Encyclopedia about, and the Encyclopedia Britannia will talk about the family Abendana also in a specific section, which is also interesting enough. Now it's interesting, just to add a few more things about Rabbi Isaac. He lived also in Hamburg at one stage and in Leiden, but he would study medicine over there. And that's when he would eventually end up in England and would eventually obviously garner like a huge, let's say, reputation over there. And I think he stood in high favor also with the president of Hertford College, to whom he dedicated Jewish calendar published in 1695, 1696, and later, respectively. And he wrote a comprehensive work, as said, on the discourses on the ecclesiastical and civil polity of Jews. And this would be an elaboration of the essays, I believe, already commenced in the calendars, which we also have to point out. And the bibliography actually gives over various different thinkers that actually quote him. So seemingly he was very, very well known. And let's just say, he was a very, very famous in of his own right. So that we also have to point over here inside this video. Let's speak a bit about Jacob Abendana, who was his brother, older brother. He was also a Chacham of London from 1680 till he passed away, I think in 1690, I think he passed away in 1695 respectively, which is very, very interesting. Jacob Abendana, I think obviously he lived in Hamburg. He actually would be living in Amsterdam, also just like his brother. He would study the De Los Pintos Rabbinical Academy in Rotterdam, reported over. In 1655, his brother was appointed Hacham of the city. And on May the 3rd, 1655, he delivered a famous memorial sermon on the Cordovan martyrs, Moranos Nunes and Almeida Bernal, who were burned at the stake, as reported over. Several years later, obviously, he was very close to his brother, Rabbi Isaac, who we're speaking about today. They would publish a Bible commentary called the Miklal Yofi by Solomon ben Melech, which included his own commentary. There was a Leket Shecha, the gleanings on the Pentateuch, the Torah, the book of Joshua, and the book of Judges. I think it was published by subscription in Amsterdam in 1660, with the second edition in 1685. So that's very, very interesting. And he would be, his brother was in, so he was part of the Bevismark synagogue in the United Kingdom. He was right over there, I think, till he passed away in, I think it was in 1685, just to clarify. I think he would be in a polemical discussion on various different verses, let's just say, in of itself, had various different debates with different people, let's just say, he addressed the community. In 1675, a dedication of a new synagogue in Amsterdam. And he was brought to London in 1680 to succeed Rabbi Joshua da Silva as a Chacham of London. He would serve 15 years to 1695 as the Chacham, the rabbi of the Bevismark synagogue in London. He completed Spanish language translation of the Mishnah, along with commentators of Maimonides and Obadiah of Bartinora, great Rabbanim. The work was frequently cited, I think even by Christian, I say, theologians, though that wasn't published also respectively over there. So Rabbi Jacob Abendana passed away in, I believe, 1695 and was buried in the Portuguese cemetery at Mile End. Somewhere else said it was 1685, but seemingly somewhere else said it was 1695. So that would matter how many years of age he happened to have been at that point in time, would have been 55 or 65. I think Chacham Yomi also brings it down and registers him as he passed away at 65 years of age in 1695. So various other places talk about that also, which is very, very interesting. So that's interesting. But that's Rabbi Yaakov Abendana. We're speaking about Rabbi Isaac Abendana today, very, very famous rabbi of his time, much is reported over, chronicled within regards to him in different places also. I think the Knesset Yisrael, inside that book itself, HebrewBooks.org will actually quote him. I think will actually quote his book also, which we also have to point out, which I recommend everyone as it's obviously a very, very good resource also, which we have to point out. He's also featured very much in the Jewish Encyclopedia. I think there's a whole topic of the Oxford English Dictionary. So I'm not too sure if he's connected there or he's quoted over there in of itself, but he was definitely a towering academic, a thinker of his time, and a famous rabbi in London. So today we're speaking about Rabbi Isaac Abendana, passed away 1699. I'm not too sure the date when he passed away, when his Hilula would have been. I think it was about 59 years of age. But happens to be his brother's Hilula, Rabbi Yaakov Abendana. I believe it's going to be only, at the time of recording over here, only, I think, 2 days or one, Som Gedalia respectively. So that is very, very interesting. Now, friends, we're a community here. We are learning about famous rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the great Chachamim we happen to be speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information from you on anything on the great Rabbonim who you descend from, so on and so forth. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos that we're recording at the moment, please share these videos also to other people. We're a community here. We're growing strength and strength. The amazing news is we are actually nearing a staggering 7,500 subscribers, which is an achievement I don't think we would have ever thought of when we started this. One of the only places that will speak about the great Sephardi Rabbonim of yesteryear, I think, online, whatsoever, in such detail. We try our best. We know we're not perfect. We want to improve, so on and so forth, constantly. But so good. And friends, we're also coming into the festival of Rosh Hashanah, also just in a matter of an hour, just here. So nothing like going out speaking about famous rabbis of yesteryear. Also, we want a katiba, a chatima tova. We want to all be inscribed in the book of life, Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach, and just see good things inside this world for all of Am Yisrael, for all of humanity, and just hear more great news, let's just say, so on and so forth. The two rabbis who's really spoken about over here, of the Spanish, Portuguese, Jewish community and chief rabbis of the United Kingdom, Rabbi Yaakov and Rabbi Isaac Abendana. We're focusing mainly on Rabbi Isaac Abendana today inside the video. Very, very interesting. Wishing all Shana Tova U'Metuka, and please subscribe to the channel and join the community. Thank you very much and have a great day, friends. Thank you. Thanks for spending the time on